We live in a culture that has mistaken immediate access for actual capability. If a fleeting question enters your mind, your hand instinctively reaches for your smartphone. Within seconds, a search engine or a large language model hands you a clean, synthetic summary. You have the answer. It feels like a victory. It feels like learning. We feel capable of knowing everything, getting everything done. We are powerful. But as a biologist and an educator, I am here to tell you the unvarnished anatomical truth. Your brain is a biological optimization engine. It uses 20% easily of all your body's energy, and so it is evolutionarily hardwired to conserve metabolic energy by taking the path of least resistance. When you permanently offload the heavy lifting of thinking to a machine, however, your neural pathways don't strengthen, they wither. Convenience is actively atrophying your focus, your ability to focus. For centuries, the driving ideal of human progress was simple. Knowledge is power. But look around the digital landscape today. We didn't reach a golden age of wisdom. We arrived at a state of profound digital apathy. We scroll through an endless cascade of catastrophic social news, of political echo chambers, and of algorithmic slop. We feel an intense intellectual exhaustion, whether we are intellectuals or not because we are learning too much, but because our attention is being fragmented into just seconds-long intervals. We have become incredibly skilled at analyzing why everything is broken from the safe distance behind our screens, yet we lack the cognitive stamina to take action in our physical reality. We get a quick dopamine hit from knowing we are right online, but we aren't actually living our lives, let alone changing anything. We don't know so much anymore, let alone learn it. The transition from the old Enlightenment ideal that knowledge is power to our current state of intellectual exhaustion didn't happen by accident. It happened by design. In a frictionless digital economy, processing infinite information of course becomes an overwhelming chore, and it's supposed to overwhelm you because then life becomes consumerism, in which you aren't supposed to think just to follow the next urge to shop. All that remains in terms of information, knowledge, content is to either doom scroll or retreat into the shallow entertainment of shorts. We have forgotten, and we're made to forget, how to learn, how to take action, how to get into the friction that it takes. But we still have the tools for escape. To break this loop, I think you don't need a radical digital detox or a remote cabin in the woods, but you need to reintroduce what cognitive science calls desirable difficulties, deliberate friction to make your brain fire up. Here's a micro-exploration challenge for you that in typical micro-exploration fashion seems like too little, but hides, but contains a lot. The Two-Minute Retrieval Gap. The next time you try to remember a director's name, a historical date, a precise word, a synonym, do not touch your phone, do not query an app. Sit with the distinct psychological discomfort of not remembering or not even knowing, having something on the tip of your tongue. Force your brain to dig through its own biological architecture using memory and logic alone for at least exactly 120 seconds, 2 minutes. That micro struggle is where long-term memory is encoded. That is how you rebuild the raw biological capability to pay attention to your real life. Start wondering, start noticing things. Reclaiming your internal focus from the dopamine trap changes how you interact with reality. You stop, hopefully, acting like a passive consumer of a synthetic universe and start remembering that you are a living, breathing organism. The moment you turn that newly recovered attention inward to understand your physical self, however, you run straight into a multi-million-dollar corporate trend telling you that your body is just a cold machine, spreadsheet to be tracked, measured, I have enough for measuring, and hyper-optimized. So next week, we'll look at the ultimate fallacy of modern immortality trends, and why the frantic quest to extend your health span might actually be stopping you from existing. So stop analyzing the map, the online world, start exploring your corner. See you on the path.